story. This is Dr. Cam Hill on the Cam Hill Show. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us. We have the best of the best with us. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Archie Jenkins. We call him Mr. 180, and we want to also thank my executive producer for putting this together, Dr. LaChonda Johnson, the top influential man, woman, and author of 180 Life. Hello, first, we're going to talk to Miss CECE. How you doing, lady?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Let's get started. Let's talk about you. National gospel recording artist, actress, songwriter, and all of the above.
Yes. Well, hey, I am CECE Godbolt, and like you said, national recording artist and actress. And I'm just so excited to be the top influential woman of 2023. Won't God do it?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let's get started. How did you get started in gospel?
Well, Kim, I started singing when I was 5 years old, and I grew up in the church. With back in the day, they not only said you had to go, but they made you go to church back in the day. So I grew up singing in the choir. My mama didn't play that. I grew up singing in the choir, and just being a part of the gospel arena. My father was a singer. He sung with a group called the Four Kings. And I think it was something was just embedded in me, and it was just the gift from God. And I always knew that I wanted to do this. I just didn't know how. And so, and so with coming up, I just, even through college and then even, graduating and then getting married and all that, I still knew that there was a hunger for me in gospel. And so God opened so many doors for me, even in that platform, to be able to record my first single years ago, titled I Will Praise You. And then I recorded another single back in 2017, Make It Happen. And I just released my third single, The Glory, on the 16th of February, this month. Yes. So right. I'm just excited about what God is doing and is yet to do in my life. Gospel has just been something that I've always loved to do. I never strayed away from it, although I had the opportunity to sing secular, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to stick with what I was brought up with, and that was gospel music, because it's just something that's, it's in me to do. So I love it. If I can't do it, I don't know what I would do, but I love it. So,
absolutely. Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's a lot of people that are out here that they have songs, they know how to write, they know what to do, but they don't have the guidance of how to get from the paper on to the actual song.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not an easy thing, but I think for me, sticking to what you love to do and keeping God first in your life, and then having supporters around you. For instance, my husband is my greatest supporter, my greatest motivator, and God has just put people in our path to make things happen for me in that arena. And so I'm just excited, and then being humble and not getting the big head and thinking that you're all that and you know everything when you don't, because you can learn at any time in your life.
Right.
So I just got myself under people who were doing the same thing that I was trying to do to help me get to the point where I am today.
Right, right. The great part about it, you didn't, as far as fear was not there. You know what I mean? Fear,
Right. Well, you know what? Fear was there, but I didn't let fear overcome me, and I didn't let fear stop me from doing what I wanted to do, because the word of God said, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of sound mind. So the fear set in, because you know how the devil is when he know that God has a purpose in your life. He's gonna come in and try to put that fear and make you want to give up and all that. But for me, I just stayed steadfast, stayed prayerful, and I didn't let that overcome what I wanted to do.
What I love about you is that every time I see Miss CECE, every time I see you, it's always that smile. It's all that excitement. It's all of that. How did you take that, the singing, and become an actress?
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I always wanted to incorporate the singing with acting. I just didn't know, okay, Lord, how am I going to do this? So
Right.
I was sitting at home one day, and so this email came about an audition for this play called What a Sister Should Do. And
Uh-huh.
so I was telling my husband, I said, you know, you think I should do it? He's like, yeah. So I went, I auditioned for this particular part, and I got the role. Okay, this is my first acting debut and everything. So from that play, then there were other playwrights who reached out to me about being a part of their production. And
Hmm.
from there, it just doors started opening. And as you know, I'm a part of Soul Purpose under Sharisha
Right.
Curtis. And with
Uh-huh.
that, you know, it was so interesting how that happened. You know, on Facebook, there was somebody they had a big audition thing for it on Facebook. Anybody want to come and audition? So someone put my name in the comments.
Hmm.
Your name in comments. You were like, oh, see what this is about. When I went to see what it was about the Soul Purpose audition. So I was like, oh, okay. So I looked to see what the roles were, and it was two roles that I wanted. Now, mind you, I am first lady, but I didn't audition. That's not what I went to audition for. Okay. But when I went to the audition, I auditioned for the Angela, and then another part, Sandra. But when I got in the room, Miss I didn't come here
Hmm.
to do first lady, but okay, because first lady didn't have a song, and I knew that I wanted to sing along with whatever role I got. Right. So when
Right.
she asked me, could I read for first lady, I was like, okay, all right, and so I did, and from that point, they called me back for a second audition, and I got first lady. And because they knew that I could sing, because in the auditions you had to come in and sing a song as well, she made sure that I had a song for first lady. And
Right.
that's how that
Right.
came
Right.
about. Yes, she's because she
Absolutely.
said
Oh, I love it.
I knew you could do first lady. She said it was just something about you for the first lady role. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and that's how they came
Mhm.
about. And I've been first lady ever
Wow.
since.
And you all are going on tour and have gone on tour, and you're still going on tour.
Yes, well, you know, they just went to Oklahoma two
Uh-huh.
weekends ago, but now I
Mhm.
couldn't make that show because I already had a show in Belton, Deadly Sins, so that she had to get an
Yes.
understudy to play my role. But of course, you know, she was like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" But God worked it out, so I will
Yeah.
be going with them in May to Lawton, Oklahoma. I will be there for that. Yes,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. And a
yeah.
songwriter.
It's-
Let's talk about that. A songwriter.
Yes. Well, you know, God gives you songs and you don't even know that you have them. I
Right.
wrote my song "Make It Happen." Gotta make it happen, trying to make it happen. And the Lord gave me that because I was going through some things with, you know, trying to get everything recorded and just trying to get some songs together. And so I was thinking about, you know, how you go through some things with family. Sometimes you lose family along the way, or friends. And you know,
Hmm.
everybody's not going to stay with you on this journey. And and
Right.
and and the song and the lyrics were, "I'm trying to make it happen. I gotta make it happen. I've been on this journey for so long, trying to make it on my own. I've lost some family and friends along the way, but God said that on this journey, he didn't say that it would be easy, but that I
Yeah.
had to be steadfast and hang in there. So I'm trying to make it happen. I got to make it happen. So that's how that came about, because it was my own testimony for me that I got to
Hmm.
make it happen. No matter what I'm going through in life, I got to make it happen because it's for the kingdom and it's not for CC. And it's not for major platforms and all that. It's just, I got to make it happen.
Right. Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. As we're talking
Hmm.
to you, lady, what would you like to leave with our listeners?
Well, first, I would like to say, you know, make sure that you put God first in everything that you do,
Hmm.
because without Him, we could do nothing.
Yeah.
And make sure that you have a prayer life, that you center yourself around people. If you're trying to do this music industry, it's not easy. Don't make anyone make you feel like you can't do it. because you know that when God has called you to do it, He will equip you. So never let a person make you feel like, oh, just give up. You can't do it because you can. Center yourself around people that are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do, that could help you along this journey. And don't get in it because you think it's all for the fame and for to be recognized and all that. It's not about that, and it never was for me. I feel like that God will elevate you in time. So always
Yes.
start from humble beginnings and never think
Hmm.
that you're all that and you all grand, because you're not. But always keep God in the center of everything that you do. And I promise you, you'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you
Yeah.
to Miss CeCe
Thank
Godbolt. We
you.
appreciate you so very much. Top
I appreciate
influential
you.
woman of this year.
Yes.
Right? Right, right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
180 Life.
Yes.
Thank
Yep.
you,
Yep.
lady, for taking your
Yes.
time. Thank you for everything you're
Thank you.
doing. We know you got to go, but thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And listen, flow and see all the glory is on all I. Make sure you drive that Spotify. We're trying to get 1,000 rings. Okay. So, my friend, for having me on your show. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, we've got up 180 Life top influential man, Mr. Marquis Lee.
Yes,
Hello, sir. How you
sir.
doing?
All right, how you doing? I'm
Doing
glad to be
good, doing
here.
good. Let's talk about you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what's going on and what does this award really mean?
Yes, sir. My name is Marquis Lee again. I am a music artist and I am a model. I've been doing this thing for the past couple of years and I'm just upcoming trying to make my mark. I'm from Killeen, Texas. I like to say I'm a military brat. My dad served 20 years in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I reside here in Texas. A little bit about me is that I am a type 1 diabetic, been one for 27 years.
Wow.
So God has blessed me. So through music, I like to inspire, I like to teach, and I like to encourage people to uplift people. There's a lot going on in life that,
Mm-hmm.
we deal with life daily.
Right,
So,
right.
through music, I would just want people to know that they can overcome, you know what I'm saying? They can be better individuals. They don't have to be feeling low about themselves, you know what I'm saying? God has made
Mm-hmm.
us victorious, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to walk in victory. You know what I'm saying? We're winners. So no matter what we deal with, we're winners. So, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's big. That's my big strive when it comes to
Right.
music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I love music. I love the neo soul vibes of music, different things like
Right.
that, the different riffs and different things, the music patterns, all that. I'm there
Mm-hmm.
for it. So
Mm-hmm.
I love it all. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
absolutely.
And being man of the year, I'm so excited. I'm so glad for 180 Life magazine, the whole
Right.
enterprise. It's just been a blessing. I
Mm-hmm.
count it as an honor because I've been through so much in my life.
Yeah.
So much from losing my mom at 15 years old, you know what I'm saying, to the point of diabetes, taking this course here and there. I can talk about that all the time. But,
Yeah.
singing has been my base. You know what I'm saying? Singing has caused me to
Mm-hmm.
go to a universe that relieves me. You know what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
I can be able to have that connection with God. You know what I'm saying? My place of serenity. So I just love it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So being honored, being the man of the year, it meant so much to me because it caused
Right.
me to feel like, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing is worth it. Sometimes being in this industry, it's hard work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard strive. Sometimes it's like some days you're good, some days it's like I don't know which way to go.
Right.
But the point of it is it's like you have to keep pushing. So I'm just honored to receive that
Mm-hmm.
award. Like, you know what I'm saying, that all my hard work from going to different events, encouraging others in whatever capacity that I can, that it pays off. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thankful for the trophy and different things like that. All of it is just on point, man. I'm just overjoyed by it
Oh, I
all.
know. I know.
Yes, sir.
It's truly an honor that you're
Oh yeah.
doing this. But going back to a lot of your testimonies, let's go through a few of those. Let's
Yes,
start
sir.
off of the fact that you were here and your mom passed, unfortunately, in the age of 15.
15 years old.
Wow.
It was it was very hard.
Yeah.
Um, Dealing with it, I didn't really know how to deal with it. I was forced to grow up fast. You know what I'm saying? I was forced to
Right.
mature doing different things. She was the one that stayed on me about my health by supplying
Right.
everything that I need. So, you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying, being a young man, walking to that hospital, not being able to talk to her when she took her
Right.
last breath and different things like that, that was traumatizing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like I had to learn how to maneuver through life. And honestly, if I didn't have God,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would be in a whole different place,
Yes.
whole different place. But
Hmm.
God was my peace of mind because there was times where depression weighed on me. There
Yeah.
was times when I allowed different influences to get on me, to stir me here and there. But you know
Right.
what I'm saying, staying on that course is what was needed. And the
Yeah.
thing about it was that, you know what I'm saying, how everything went, my mom, she was diagnosed with leukemia cancer.
Hmm.
And a lot of stuff transpired in a matter of 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yes. So it went
Hmm.
from her saying that, baby, I got leukemia cancer, to the point where God actually showed me in a vision of my mom in a casket. And I
Oh
got
no.
so scared. I was like, I can't believe this. So I ran to
Right.
her. I said, Mama, I had a dream that blah, blah, blah. And she said, baby, I'm not going nowhere. So it was like 4 or 5 days before December the 18th of 2008. And she
Mm.
told me that she wasn't going nowhere. But when she was asleep, it's like I heard her voice was like, you know what? Tell your mom that you love her. Man,
Right.
if I could go back to that day,
Yeah.
I wish I should have obeyed that voice. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the last time
Hmm.
I seen her before she took her last breath.
Wow.
But I'm just so thankful for all the
Mm.
lessons and all the time that I had with her while she was on earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it
Hmm.
was a toll. I was a freshman in high school. I
Hmm.
went from an A student down to a C student and borderline
Yeah.
an F student
Yeah.
because I was trying to maneuver through
Hmm.
life like I didn't understand.
Right.
And even with that, God blessed me to have a principal to like will me in, because that's when I started rebelling, doing different things. And like my principal, he willed me in. He was like, look, you got to do better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to let you over here, you know what I'm saying, dwell in depression and all this stuff. So, I mean, that was a traumatic experience, but I'm glad that God
Yeah.
carried me through. That's why I'm a witness that God will take you through any situation, through any
Yes.
struggle, through any
Yes.
pain. All you got to
Yes.
do is trust and believe Him. Trust
Hmm.
and believe Him, and He will do it. And the thing about God is that He loves us beyond our faults.
Hmm.
You don't have to be
Hmm.
100% correct or right in life.
Right.
But He
Right.
said, just trust me. I
Yeah.
promise you, I'll take you through.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I rock for God. I tell people a lot of times He's bad to the bone.
Hmm.
He's bad to the bone. So now that's
Yes.
why I can rejoice. You
Hmm.
know, sometimes I cry, sometimes I think about my mom, but it's not like it's sad tears. But I'm
Right.
rejoiced for the good things. I rejoice for
Wow.
what she has instilled in me so I can
Yeah.
be a better man for myself. So I stand at 30 years old, striving for my dreams, bro.
Yes.
Striving to be the best man that I can be.
Yeah.
So I'm just so
16 years
grateful.
later. This is
Yes,
16
sir.
years later
Yes,
that
sir.
you have gone through 16 years. And
Still
thank God
standing.
for the opportunity. Thank God for you doing this, because your testimony, what you're just telling us, as all of us, you're helping us along the way. So
Yes,
many
sir.
even now are going through
Yes.
that process of losing a family member that they love so much. And there's no time for grief.
You're right.
There's no set time that grief is supposed to be over, right?
You're right. You're right. No
No.
matter what age the person is, no matter what it is,
Yes,
it's hard all around. You know
right.
what I'm saying? And I've learned that that pain, it will never leave you, but
Yeah,
God will show you how to maneuver with it. And
yeah,
sometimes God will cause that pain for you to turn it around to be a good energy to somebody else, that it will cause them to get on that right path, or, you know what I'm saying, cause them to stand up and be like,
yeah.
I'm not going to dwell in that. I'm not going to die in this
Mhm,
thing. I'm going to
mhm.
survive in it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, 16 years later, look at all you've done to make her
Yes, sir.
proud. Look at all the things that you've done, and now being 180 Life top
Yes, sir.
influential man of the year.
I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm
Wow.
excited. Yes, sir. And another thing I want to share
Hmm.
with you as well is that, you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
through all of the years that I've been singing and doing different things in different events, God allowed me to drop my first EP in
Yeah.
2021. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Rescue Me. It's on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a good mixture of that neo soul side of me, that worship side of me, and also that praise side of me, all in one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's on all digital platforms.
And how did that come about? Even the name.
Woo. I'll say this: one of the songs on there that God allowed me to write, it was called 911 Call Rescue Me, and with that song right
Mm.
there, God birthed that in me when I was going through, and it was at a point when my body had got afflicted with COVID, and I had
Mm-hmm.
every symptom besides the respiratory.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm a diabetic. This thing is
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. It is my time, God. And God began to birth that song to me. And he began to give me the words, I need you to rescue me from
Mm-hmm.
all this pain. I've been going through so long. My heart needs healing. And he began to birth those songs to me, those words. And as I
Mm-hmm.
began to think on those, and God began to tell me, this is what I need you to put out in the earth for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That somebody's been going through, that they're at their last resort. They don't have nothing else, nobody else to talk to. But
Mm-hmm.
they need a 911. They need God to rescue them from whatever they're going through. So I begin
Wow.
to write and things begin to come. And I begin to have the melodies flowing in my ears and different things. And I called my producer friend. I was like, man, we got to get this thing going.
Right.
Next thing you
Mm-hmm.
know, God birthed that song.
Wow.
God birthed that song. So I'm just blessed by that. And so that's where the whole CD came of Rescue Me. So each
Mm-hmm.
song on there is, I have a song about self-confidence. I have a song
Mm-hmm.
about this is my testimony. You know what I'm saying? How God brought me out of sin and shame. You know what I'm saying? Because
Wow.
I've been through some things. I haven't always been squeaky clean. I'm still not. I'm still striving to
We
be the
none of us
best.
have. Right.
Right. But there's different songs in there that will strengthen you wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
even have a song on there talking about I want to be more like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? We're
Mm-hmm.
striving to be better each and every day. So, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's just a mixture. But the overall song is Rescue Me, that 911 call.
Right. 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 Even talking about you've also saved a lot of people, even talking about diabetes in our
Yeah.
community, and just even finding out that you were diabetic and then going through it and being as strong as you are, taking care of yourself. And you even talked about the fact COVID
Ooh, yes,
with
sir.
diabetes.
It was hard.
I know it was. I know it
Ooh.
was. And how did you get what did you end up having to do during that time to strengthen your body and get and fight it?
So what I did was I was drinking, well, I was eating a lot of fruits and different things like that, even though I couldn't taste.
Yeah.
But I was eating a lot of foods that had that nutrients in it that I needed for my body to stay up.
Yeah.
I was even taking a lot of vitamins and doing different things like that. Of course, a lot of water, those
Mm-hmm.
type of things. I had closed myself off. So
Right.
for a matter of just about 3 weeks, I didn't see none of my family at
Mm-hmm.
all. My pops, he had to
Mm-hmm.
come over
Mm.
and make sure I was good. You know what I'm saying? He'll drop food at the door. I'll eat it and keep it
Right.
going like that. But it
Mm-hmm.
was it was very
Yeah.
strong struggle. But I got through it. And like in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying? It was the vitamins and nutrients and also my prayer life with God and the
Mm-hmm.
word, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
that kept me through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also thankful for those that checked on me during that time. You know what I'm saying? Because COVID, it'll weigh on your mind. It will. It'll weigh on
Mm.
your mind. So I got through that thing. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. 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 At this time, what we're going to come back to you, but what would you like to leave with the listeners right now from what we just spoke about?
Well, I want to say to all the visionaries, all the dreamers, that no matter what you're doing, it's going to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on the course. Stay the course. Don't stray from it. I know it sometimes it may get hard. You might get weary. You know what I'm saying? But be like that tree that's planted. You may sway over here, but don't break. Stay the course. It's gonna work out for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
180
sir.
Top Influential Man of the Year. We're going to bring you back. Let's
Yes,
bring
sir.
on Mr. 180 Top Influential Author of the Year, Mr. Manny. Mr. Manny
Hey,
Morales, how
how's it
you
going?
doing, sir?
Not too bad.
I just
Not too
wanted to
bad.
bring you on. We're going to bring our other friend back, but right now, let's bring you on author, runway model, and actor.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about yourself, friend.
Um. Well, I'm Manny Morales. I started off as an author, the author of Love Is Our Magic. I forgot the name of the book.
Hmm.
Um. It is an sensual erotic novel. Some like Zane-esque, if you
Yes.
will. Um, and then from there, just kind of snowballed into different stuff. I started doing the modeling and then the acting. So, um, yeah, I'm live in Florida, so uh, it's a little warm out here.
It's a little warm out there. Sounds good. We'd always want to be on that beach and that water. Tell us about
I
being
know
that
that.
author. Where did the actual concept come from?
Um, well, I was always an introvert when I was a kid. Not anymore,
Hmm.
but when I was a kid, I was, and I always loved to write. It with literacy you could put yourself in a different world. You can make a world for
Hmm.
yourself that you're actually comfortable in, and a lot of introverts, um some aren't comfortable in this reality, so they just
Uh-huh.
tend to
Right.
make their own reality so that way they could feel comfortable, and that's why
Hmm.
they stay inside. So I would actually write it down and do little short stories. And then as I got
Hmm.
older, Zane came out and I read one of her books and it
Right.
changed my life. I was like, oh, I gotta write something like
Hmm.
that. So yeah.
Was your family did your family think that that was you writing that book of
No, definitely
erotica?
not. My family, my parents, they were surprised because I
Yeah.
was always shy and quiet. So
Hmm.
when I wrote the book and they were like, oh, okay. They were proud of me. My father passed away about 4 years ago, but my mom's still alive. She lives in Puerto Rico right now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she's proud of me like every day. I'm proud of you. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then we go from being an author, then an actor. Is that what I'm saying?
yeah,
Modeling?
yeah, I'm definitely doing a lot of. I have a couple shows coming up in March and April, and there's
Hmm.
a couple more casting calls that I'm actually gonna do this weekend for some
Yeah.
more shows. So
And
yeah.
Mr. Manny, I'm so glad you said that. Let's talk about, you spoke about you being an introvert at first. How did you come out of your shell? How did you decide to be an actor and modeling? You've got to come out. You're not an introvert at that point.
Nah, not anymore. Well, like I always wanted to be a part of society, but like when I was a kid, I was really shy, which made me an introvert because I was shy.
Right.
So I had to kind of break out of that, and once I became a teenager, I kind of started hanging out with different people, and I
Hmm.
was kind of straddling the fence. I was, hanging out with people, but I'd still, be to myself.
Right.
But as I got to adulthood, I was like, you can't be an introvert anymore. So especially after I wrote the book, and I actually held on to the book for about 10 years before I actually published it.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, because I really didn't have any support in my life. I was like the people around me really weren't supportive. They just made me doubt myself. And
Yeah.
as an artist, you always critical about yourself anyway, no matter if you're a
Yeah.
painter or a model or author or whatever type of art
Hmm.
do. You're critical about
Hmm.
yourself. So it's like when
Right.
people tell you, "Oh, I don't know about that. You might not be able because it might not be successful." It's like you start thinking, "Oh, it might not be good." So, but then when I moved
Right.
to Florida, I was like,
Hmm.
either it's now or never. So
Right.
we're here now. So I took the high road instead of the low road.
Absolutely. I'm so glad. And just thinking about, and I want you to talk to some of the people that are out there that still that have their book,
Right.
that's been having their book for 10 years, right? They
Mhm.
want to model, okay?
Right.
But they think, okay, I'm looking in this magazine, I'm looking in this print. I don't look like this. This is not what I want to do. I want to model, but I need to do this, this, and this to myself. I need to go on diets. I need to do all of this, those type of things, instead of just accepting who you are and just get out there and model the clothes.
Right. Yeah, the modeling world is a lot different than it used to be when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the models and the kind of, the suggested look,
Right.
is not it's not as prevalent as it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you just have to have confidence in who you are.
Right.
Um, because everybody's different body type, everybody's a different shape, different,
Mm-hmm.
tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to be comfortable in your skin. Um,
Yes.
there, I to the people that are out there, that still have their books, I'm like, and if it's already written, publish.
Mm-hmm.
um
Yes.
the worst they could say is no, and it's not the end of the world, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to say no because you give them a whole manuscript. They're not going to say, oh, it's garbage. No, they're going to say,
Mm-hmm.
fix this and tweak that, and you know
Right.
we could work with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I just tell people, go for it. That first step is the hardest one, but once you're in it,
Mm-hmm.
um it gets easier, because I know when I first did my first book event, it was in New Orleans. It was called the Black
Mm-hmm.
Ink Book Festival. And I had just published the book. So my author was with me, and I sat behind my table. I was still
Mm-hmm.
nervous. So I just sat behind my table and I waited for people to come to me. And she was like, you have to talk to the people. I was like, okay. I just sat behind my table. And then a guy from, so I can't remember, I think he owned a bookstore or something. I can't remember.
Right.
But he came to interview me. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, I'm gonna do the interview. I was nervous, like I bombed that whole interview.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and since that one interview, I've gotten better at doing, different interviews. So
Right.
as you do it and put yourself out there, um, you'll get a lot better and you're more comfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
just trust the process. Once you get into the
Right.
process, you have to trust it because it's not going to be easy the whole way. It's going to be hard. Just
Mm-hmm.
like CC said, the devil's going to try and try and try, but you have to keep pushing forward
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
you're never going to know where you're going to make it if you don't keep trying.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think a lot of people, we as a society, or just we as people, we have friends around us, and if they're not doing what we want to do, of course, it looks like, or it
Right,
seems like
right,
that
exactly,
they're not
exactly.
supporting us, right?
Exactly. And you have, especially if you don't, have um come from a well-to-do, or
Right.
like if you live in, I don't want to say poverty, but if you don't have much money, and a lot of those people,
Mhm.
it's like a crab in a barrel. They don't want to see you succeed because they want you to be in that muck with them, because they don't
Mhm.
want to be alone.
Mhm.
Once you get out and they see that you're doing good, they're going to continue to degrade you and try to get you to um, doubt yourself. Um,
Mhm.
and that's when you cut them off. Because I've cut off a lot of people, family members, like blood family, like they don't
Mhm.
support me. So I'm
Right.
gonna be on this journey regardless if you support me or not.
Mhm. And I'm glad you said that. Let's talk.
Yeah,
Let's discuss that. A lot of people are afraid to cut off family and friends. They're afraid of that. They're
right.
afraid of the
Because
backlash or so.
right. And it backlash and then complacency. Like people like
Yes.
that comfort zone. And
Mhm.
when you're in the spotlight and you're trying to either be a model or author or musician or host, TV show host, or podcast show host, um you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable because it's
Right.
always going to be an uncomfortable situation. You never know what's
Mhm.
going to happen every show or every event or every whatever you're doing, you don't know
Mhm.
what's going to happen. So you have to
Right.
be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And that's the
Mhm.
hard part for some people. You know, they
It
like
is.
that comfort zone. They like to have that blanket, so to speak.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
And
you
the
got to shed that.
transition from being an author into being an actor. Let's talk about that. Going on the casting calls,
Right.
putting
Um,
yourself out there.
yeah, it was difficult at first. But the casting call is really like a book event. You know, you just have to talk to the people.
Mhm.
And once you get the script to read, you just have to be yourself, give your 100% realness in you. Don't try to
Mhm.
act, be yourself.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. With the modeling
Now
too,
some
like
of the
when you hit that runway and people like,
Mhm.
because essentially when you're a model, the whole point is for people to actually look at you. So when you're
Right.
walking down that runway, it's like you feel like everybody's watching, but they are watching you. That's the whole point. So you just have to be
Right.
comfortable and focus on what you're doing and not the actual people.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and you'll be a lot more successful that way.
What about this fame, my friend? You've gotten so much fame now.
um, I really don't feel it. Like people keep telling me, and this author of the year, everybody keeps congratulating me, and it's like
Yes.
um, even though you win awards and get accolades, and you just have to stay humble because you can't feel like you're better than somebody
Yeah.
because we're all human, we're all the
Mhm.
same, and if God says, all right, that's it.
Mhm.
You're done.
Mhm.
You have to try to stay humble and because the people are gonna love you a lot more. Your
Yeah.
audience and your fans are gonna love you a lot more if you're humble. You can't be like, oh, I did this, and you only did one thing. So what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
So
and also being an actor.
right. Oh, the acting. It's different. Like being on set, it's a
Yes.
whole lot different. You have to um it's a different beast.
Yeah.
Dealing with the cameras and have the roles that you play.
Mhm.
Um and I'm also actually going to be a part of a podcast as well with a young lady. We haven't started it yet, but I can't
Yeah.
divulge anything. But it's very interesting. This year is definitely going to be very interesting.
And it just started. Look, you're
Yeah,
already at
it
the
just
top.
started. Yeah, I claimed it. When the year started, I said this is going to be my year, and then 180 Life had the nominations way
Right.
before the beginning of the year, so
Mhm.
it was a close race. Like it was really tight,
Mhm.
and I was talking to Mr. 180, and I was like, "Look, man, I'm the only guy. I need to win. Like I need to win. I'm the only guy. Like there was like 80 women. It was just me. So
All
when we
right.
got there, he called our names, and I was like, okay, I'm in the top three because he didn't tell us, what position we were till like after everybody was up there. And
Right.
then when he passed out the second place and it wasn't me, I was like, oh, okay, I won. Great. Yeah.
Wow. How, like I said, how does that, we know how it feels as you just spouted, but standing up there with the other, like you said, it's 80 ladies. What?
Right. Yeah, I think it was something like 80 ladies or something like that. It was a lot of ladies. I was the only guy. There was another guy, but I don't think he was kind of like, he really
Yeah.
wasn't present for any of it.
He wasn't
So,
present. Okay.
right. He
Okay.
wasn't motivated enough.
I've got you.
Yeah.
But love is our
Yes.
magic. How did
Yes. And
that
and
name
I
come from?
also have it, I translated into Spanish because I'm Puerto Rican, so I want to make sure that my people are able to enjoy the book.
Wow.
And it's not really
Right.
the fame comes with it, but I just want people to enjoy the story. Like I
Yeah.
enjoyed Zane's books or Eric Jerome Dickey or Donald Goins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was his name. Um,
Hmm.
but like you know, when you pick up a book, it's like you get transferred into a different world, and you're
Yeah.
essentially playing a movie in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And the words that are on the page, if they don't write it right, you can't
Mm-hmm.
really get into the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely working on an audio book, but it's going to be different than an audio book. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really put any details out there, but I'm definitely going to revolutionize the audiobook industry once I
Right.
finish the audiobook. So, but yeah.
Mm. So what's next on our horizon? We've talked about that. We've talked about the other things. You've got a few other things in the things that you probably can't talk. We don't want the specifics, but if you can share with us just a little of what you're getting ready to do. We know podcast is on the way.
Yeah, I have a gentleman in Virginia. He has a sort of like a comic book world universe. He started a
Mm-hmm.
like Marvel, but in his
Right.
version. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Spectacular Inc. And he commissioned me to write a comic book novel
Wow.
for one of his older characters. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on that since last year, and it's gonna be amazing. Like
Wow.
this is um, something new for me, different because you
Mm-hmm.
know I've written erotica, I've written poems, and I've written just short stories about different stuff, but I've never done comic. And he kind
Mm-hmm.
of gave me the blueprint of how he wanted it. I just had to
Mm-hmm.
put the filler and create the story for him. So
Right.
it's gonna be pretty interesting. Yeah, to
Wow.
say the least. Yeah.
That is great. What would you like to leave with your listeners?
First of all, Amazon. The book is on
Yes.
Amazon. Or you could, you know, follow me on social media and direct message me if you want an autograph copy.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that are trying to get in any type of industry and feel the fear of um, trying to start, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you just go start, put that foot out there. Don't allow that fear to cripple you, because if
Mm-hmm.
a thought was put in your mind and it's strong enough to move you, you need to go ahead and do it, because that's what God wants you to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
not something that you know you thought on your own. It's something that's your purpose in life. So just trust the process. It's not going to be easy. Trust me.
Well, thank you, sir, for everything you've
Thank you.
done.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for
much
just the
for having me.
opportunity for even being here. 180's Life Magazine top influential author of the
Right.
year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's bring back Mr. Marquis Lee real quick. Have him on, the both of you all up together. Mr. Marquis Lee, tell us again how to get in touch with you, how to get your information, what we need to download again.
Alrighty, so my EP is called Rescue Me. You can find that on all digital platforms, and my name is Marquis Lee again. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, TikTok, and also Instagram under Keith Taylor
Mm-hmm.
Made.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That sounds good. Someone is asking me about your testimony. They thank you so much for the openness. They want to talk more about, she is just finding out at an age of, I guess, 40 or so, that she's a
Okay,
diabetic, and that she's thankful that you spoke about that.
awesome. I'm glad to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much about that. Again, we have you here, Mr. 180 Life, top influential man. You
Yes,
already spoke
sir.
about how you felt about it. Were you thinking that you were going to win?
To be honest, I'm just gonna be real. When I seen them stats, I was like, Lord, if it's your will, let it be done. If not, I'm just grateful to be a part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes just being nominated is enough.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very humbled. I'm very appreciative of it. But honestly, when it got to that second place, I said, what? Then it came my name. I was like, now you know what, Lord. Okay. All right, cool, cool. So I'm very, very grateful and humbled over the whole experience.
Mm-hmm. 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 We thank Mr. Archie Jenkins for what he's done. Just
Yes.
even the thought process and the vision of bringing us all together, really, and just the thought process of everything he's done. But being the top, my friend, and as humble as you and Mr. Manny have been today, as well as Miss CeCe, I cannot. I mean, just the outlook of 2024, and we're just in February 29th leap year after 4 years.
Right.
Just think about today what this really is.
Hmm. It's gonna be an amazing year.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
most
gonna
Yeah,
be
definitely.
it's
amazing.
going to be an amazing year,
We going up.
Mr. And just wanted to talk to you, Mr. Marquis, very quickly about the fact of an EP. Many people are doing singles only. How do you complete an actual project like this, and how long does it take?
Um, it took a good minute. When God gave me the vision, it was like 2 years before I actually put it out.
Mm-hmm.
But as that time went, God put those certain people in place and different things. Listening to Manny, you know what I'm saying? He really encouraged me too. Cause sometimes like going through this journey, your own family and friends, the ones that's closest to you,
Yeah,
some of them will fall off.
yeah,
Hmm.
Some of them
yeah.
will be the very ones to stab you in the back and say this and that. You know what I'm saying? But through that course, you know what I'm saying, God just placed those certain people in the in my view and caused the
Mm-hmm.
vision to be birthed. So through that I was able to start songwriting and different things like that, and being partnered with those certain people to help get that into manifestation. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, after that went and boom, went forth with it. Now I'm about to release my second album in
Mm-hmm.
August. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited about what God is doing.
Wow. Just thinking about all of what you all have done, and just the testimonies that you talked about. Mr. Manny, jump right in here about some testimonies that you have that you've already gone through your life.
Right.
What you can share with us.
Um, I had okay, so um, like I said, my father passed away. He was a diabetic for
Mm.
pretty much since he was 23, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I was 26, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, but
Mm.
got surgery to remove it from my body. So currently, I'm cancer free.
Wow.
Um, and when I was 7, I got my kidney taken out. So I had a rough life.
Mm-hmm.
But God just made it a way. Like He knew that I was gonna be here right now talking to
Mm-hmm.
y'all.
Right.
Giving my story. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
somebody else that has a similar story could hear it and see that it is possible for them to do something with their life and not just
Right.
sit back and sit at home and watch TV and
Mm-hmm.
wish that they were that person that's on the TV. You know.
What I loved about both of you all, the diagnosis does not stop you
Yes.
from going and doing your dream. The diagnosis, whatever it might be, has not said is a death sentence. It's just moving on. It's a
Right. Right.
circumstance and an issue that you go through at that
Right.
time, and you
Right.
just keep going.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a process. Because when I had the
Yeah.
colon cancer, nobody in my family has it. And it was just my
Yeah.
life choices that I made when I was younger.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through so many changes, and there was times where I was like, what's the purpose? And God was like, you
Mm-hmm.
have a purpose, and He's the one that
Mm-hmm.
kept me moving forward. So
Mm-hmm. 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 And that's good. That's
yeah,
good because so many people that are listening and that will listen tonight and will listen tomorrow and will listen to our stories
right,
the next day can be free
mhm,
by that because they already know from your testimony and what you're
right,
talking about, it can free them and say, I'm going to live. I'm going to be okay.
exactly,
I've got a lot to
exactly,
do.
Yes.
exactly, exactly.
So I want to thank both of you all for your testimonies, your thought processes, everything
Hey.
you've done, everything you've said on tonight, because what is happening with all of us is that we need that lifting up because depression
Right.
can set in. We have
Oh,
You right.
naysayers, we've got friends and family that
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it,
hmm,
things like
right.
that. And what do we say to them? Let's start with Mr. Marquis Lee. What do we say to them?
What we say to them is that yeah, they may say one thing, but I know who knows the real answer, and that's God. And most times I just tell people, just look up. You know what I'm saying? Don't look down, but look up.
Mm-hmm.
That way you know that the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no matter what it is,
Right.
God able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So in them simple
Mm-hmm.
words, I go
Mm-hmm.
look up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Manny, jump right in here. What do we say? Because so many people I do know about the depression, and that comes a lot from what is told to us on a daily basis, friends and family, on a consistent basis in our ears.
Right. First, I want to address the naysayers. To the naysayers, I tell them, I appreciate you, helping me through being in my life this far,
Mm-hmm.
but this is your stop. And I stopped dealing with them, so
Yeah.
that's what you really have to do to those people that aren't um, helping you succeed.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be financial. It doesn't have to be, money
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be involved. Like just
Mm-hmm.
being there to support you and push you forward and say, you're doing a great job. Keep the good work.
Right.
And for the people that are in depression, we battle depression every day.
Yeah, we do.
Just because I'm where I'm at and Marquis is where he's at and Dr. Cam is where he's at,
Right.
doesn't mean that we don't battle depression too.
Mm-hmm.
We just are able to control it and
Mm-hmm.
know that it's just a phase that we're going through, and we have to push forward. No matter how bad it hurts, we have to continue to push forward. And once you get past that threshold, it gets better once you get on the other side. So,
Mm-hmm.
just don't give up. You have to, keep moving, even if you want to lay in bed all day and just don't want to live life. You have to keep pushing forward, because
Mm-hmm.
not nobody is going to live your life for you. You have to actually live it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's good. That's good. Mr. Marquis, you want to say anything, last words or thought processes that you'd like to talk about?
I just want to piggyback on that and say, looking back at that story about the woman with the issue of blood, right? How she had to crawl to touch Jesus' garment. Sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
got to do that in life. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Life is there to make us strong, no matter what it may be. But if we can just press and crawl, we're gonna get to that prize.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mr. Manny, what would you like to leave? What would you like
Um,
to say in this one?
just trust the process. Like I said before, just trust in yourself. Trust that you can do and make a difference. If you
Mm-hmm.
have children, you have somebody looking up to you and you want to do your best at all times.
Right.
The, it's not going to be an easy road. You're going to feel depression every day. We fall victim sometimes, but you
Mm-hmm.
just have to have the will and the know-how to say it's just, you know, um, bad energy. And
Mm-hmm.
the devil is trying to get at me. So you have to push those thoughts to the back and know that there's something positive moving forward.
Absolutely. Thank you,
You're welcome.
gentlemen, for everything
I
you've
appreciate
done. Thank you for
Yes,
all that you're doing. Top influential man of the year, Mr. Marquis Lee, and top
sir.
influential author of the year, Mr.
Thank
Manny
you.
Morales. And
Thank you.
shout out to Miss CeCe. She had to leave a little early. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to Mr. Archie Jenkins for the vision for
Yes.
180
The
Life and
180.
everything
Yeah.
he's
Thank you very
done.
much.
Yeah, we appreciate you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you, family and friends, for just listening to us on tonight. This is Dr. Cam Hill on the Cam Hill Show. And thank you to my executive producer, Dr. LaChonda Johnson. Have a great one. Bye.
Program.